Okay, I was gonna hopefully make a short video here. This time is actually a transaction I made for obviously a computer gaming chair. Actually made the purchase on December 8th, and I kind of probably realized that I wasn't going to be able to get a computer gaming chair like the one that's pictured for $59.99. So anyway, I decided to just go through it anyway and see what the scam was all about as far as this seller goes, because if it's too good to be true, obviously it probably is. So essentially you can see that I purchased the chair on December 8th, and then what happened was that the seller actually 3 days later, basically provided tracking information that said that, the chair was actually delivered 3 days later. But obviously, if you look at the tracking information, it's from Portland, Oregon, and delivered to Columbus, Ohio. And obviously, I don't live in either one of those states, so obviously it wasn't delivered to me. So I called eBay and then basically, asked them, if I should open a case or item not received case, or if I should just wait, because what the seller did after that was to just post another set of tracking information that obviously is going to be delivered later in the following month, and so as you can see, obviously this item or this tracking was for an item that was from China and destined for somewhere in Norwalk, Connecticut. And it was actually, it wasn't delivered on January 6th because there was nobody available to sign for it. So it was eventually delivered today, which is January 7th, and left with the buyer. So essentially what this seller was doing was selling an item that they didn't have, and then just posting random tracking numbers that weren't for items, or the item anybody purchased. So I decided I was just basically going to leave negative feedback and just, kind of say what, the scam was all about. Basically they're just, posting random tracking numbers that have nothing to do with the item, that was ordered. And, basically pointing all this stuff out. But then eBay eventually, removed it, and I don't know the reason why, but obviously the seller actually had sold like 40, essentially, assumed gaming chairs, and maybe eBay didn't want, anybody to know, and so they couldn't file a claim. I have no idea, but the thing is that it kind of makes them look bad if if it's pointed out that what the seller is actually doing is like I say, providing random tracking information. So then I also decided to just basically file a report on the seller, and for the same reasons. And basically I think the reason I gave was that they were selling something that they didn't have. And so then, I went through the whole thing and told them about, what actually went on in my case, as far as, the seller posting, the the random tracking information. And then obviously, you can see here that they say that, it doesn't go against any of eBay's policies. And, it's like they're saying that selling something that you don't have and just providing random tracking numbers isn't against any of eBay's policies. So, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but that, that's what they actually did. And, basically this is the letter that they sent me back. And unfortunately, they're not doing anything about the seller at this time, but, maybe eventually they'll basically terminate their account. But I have no idea what they're going to do. But I might just keep an eye on it and see if all of a sudden the seller account turns up as not a registered user anymore. But I didn't mention it yet, but I think the seller was actually from Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken, and basically, the second set of tracking information they provided was for an item that was being shipped from China to the United States, and obviously when it got to the United States, the UPS did continue to provide tracking information to the final destination. So I was able to just basically get email alerts for that item, even though it wasn't destined to be delivered to me. But I obviously didn't know that, because that's the other issue with random tracking, is you don't know, it doesn't show, and you don't know who the actual item is going to be delivered to. So some buyers might just think that the chair is on its way, when in reality, the tracking doesn't have anything to do with their, the item they purchased. So it's essentially, I guess, that's, all I wanted to point out in this video is, basically this is I don't know what you call it, a tracking scam. But obviously there's, a lot of this type of stuff going on eBay and probably Amazon, but I just wanted to kind of make a video to point out what is going on and what to look out for is if you're a buyer, and obviously if you're thinking you can get a gaming chair for $60, you might want to think again, because all I did was basically just put my money on hold until I figured out what the seller was actually doing, and it wasn't actually selling anything that they actually possessed. So anyway, I appreciate you tuning into this video, and hope to see you again next time.